What is up, guys? My name is Darren Jackson. Welcome back to the channel, and we finally got some news from this Torchlight Metamaterials merger. It's really funny because in previous videos I said that this merger is a real testament to patience, and maybe that's the same with a lot of other mergers, but I really felt it with this one, especially because we weren't getting a lot of information for a good period of time. So I really believe it when I say that any news at this point is good news. Kinda. So for those of you guys that have no idea about this merger or why it's so popular, I'm gonna just quickly explain it. So Torchlight Energy Resources, ticker symbol TRCH, is a company in the oil and gas industry. They specifically acquire, explore, exploit, and develop oil and gas properties. At one point, they had a lot of different properties, at least 4 or 5 within different bases in the Texas area. So they were making a decent amount of money on that. Make sure you keep that in mind because it might be a little bit important later. But just like a lot of other oil and gas companies, they're wanting to convert themselves to be a lot friendlier towards the environment, because that's kind of the theme of it all. There's a lot of companies that want to be clean by 2030 and rid of X amount or X percentage of the emissions that create this greenhouse effect that the current world is going towards. And especially when you have the government saying that they're going to give a lot of money towards helping those companies do so, it makes sense. Companies like ExxonMobil are changing their ways and others are falling behind them. Torchlight Energy Resources wants to do the same thing, but they essentially want to take the diagram of what their company is about and rip it up and throw it away and start completely over with another company. Now that other company is called Metamaterials, ticker symbol MMATF, or since they're a Canadian-based stock, MMATF.cu, I believe. And Metamaterials is a Canadian-based technology and kind of sort of renewable energy company. What they do is that they create these films made of nanocomposites that can manipulate different types of wavelengths, primarily light. And those nanocomposites, by the way, are called metamaterials. And those can be used for a multiple of applications, including medical applications or primarily aerospace, automobiles, and eyeglasses. So they're hitting a lot of different avenues, which is really cool. And I consider them kind of sort of a renewable energy-ish type company because of what they utilize and the fact that they're utilizing an energy source such as light, even though from my knowledge they're not really powering anything, but we'll just call them a technology-based company. But they're still friendly within the eyes of other people with this whole greenhouse effect because they're using an energy source like light instead of something like coal and stuff like that that other oil and gas companies use. Completely different applications, but they both have something that they want. Torchlight wants to completely start over and be friendlier and make a profit, while Metamaterials also wants to make a profit. What's interesting about Metamaterials is that it's pretty hard to access. Like I said, they're a Canadian-based stock, so if you're on Canadian platforms like I believe Trading 212, you can invest through them with the .cu ticker symbol. You can actually also invest into them through Fidelity with the MMATF. But as far as I know, that's the only way you can access it. So they want to be able to be accessible through index funds like NASDAQ, one of the leading tech index funds. So that'll give them the opportunity to have more exposure and make more money. Hopefully their products will be reasons why they make money as well. Torchlight's already in the NASDAQ, so this combination will help them do that. So now that we know the basis of what this merger is all about and why they're doing it, we can go to the actual news itself. So on April 15th, which was about 2 weeks ago from when this video comes out, Torchlight basically said that we're still working on meeting the requirements for this merger. I'm sorry, this arrangement. That's what they're calling it. Now, as far as the requirements go, I know one major aspect of the requirements is that Torchlight has to sell all of their assets by a given period of time, which is also really important, so make sure you keep that in mind as well. So some other news that they released on April 15th is that they plan on releasing a preliminary proxy statement with the SEC. Don't worry guys, there was actually a period of time where I didn't know what a proxy statement was, aka a couple of hours ago before making this video. A proxy statement is essentially a gathering of information that they provide with the SEC or the Securities and Exchange Commission, in which the SEC can then create questions to ask the companies like Torchlight, for example, when a shareholders meeting is taking place. Those are meetings where shareholders such as you and myself have the opportunity to actually listen in and figure out how the company is doing in all aspects of life. Now, particularly with proxy statements, it'll include information such as how much the board of directors are making, their salary, bonuses, perks, and stuff like that, which for a second I thought was kind of weird that we want to know all that, but it kind of makes sense because they announce their worth or their revenue every single quarter and every single year. So we know how much they're making. we want to understand more about how much they're actually putting towards their company in relation to how much they're actually keeping for themselves. So yes, if they're getting private jets and all this other stuff, then you hope that they're putting 10 to 100 times more, a little bit exaggerated, back towards the company, because that's what helps the company grow. And thus the shareholders are a big reason why they're so profitable. We want to make a profit as well. So if they're making more money than they're putting back into the company, it's going to make us question a lot about what we're doing. Now, the other important news that they announced on April 15th is that they're giving themselves until April 30th to announce when they're going to hold this special meeting. Now, this special meeting is basically the voters meeting where Torchlight shareholders will vote if they're for or against this merger with Metamaterials. It's safe to say that the majority of us are for it, and there's really one big reason why. Now, speaking of that one big reason, following up that meeting, they're going to then release their definitive proxy statement with the SEC and information that we'll be able to see as well, including this dividend. Now, for a lot of you guys that don't know about this dividend, it's probably the hot topic with this merger, and it's the reason why people are choosing Torchlight to invest in over Metamaterials through Fidelity. But just to give you guys some insight, if you're a current investor within Metamaterials, whether it's through the Canadian stock market or it's with Fidelity, you will own 75% of the company's net worth once the merger happens. So stock-wise, for every one stock that you currently have with Metamaterials, you will get 3. So for example, if you have 10, you'll end up with 30 with a different ticker symbol. So that's kind of a benefit because voter rights, you have more voting power because you have more shares. And I guess through the eye, it just looks like more money, but not really. Now on Torchlight's side, once the merger actually happens, you'll own 25% of the company. So for every 1 share you have now, you'll have 1 share of Metamaterials once the merger happens. So if you have 10 shares currently, you'll have 10 shares. Except for every share you currently had, you will receive a Class A special preferred dividend stock. Now, the qualifications of that are something they're going to announce later, but it can be assumed that if they haven't announced it yet, that as long as you invest in the Torchlight up until this point, you will receive it. And there's a reason why you want to. Now, remember when I said that Torchlight at one point owned a lot of different projects within different bases in Texas? Those are worth something based on the amount of oil and the equipment that are used in those different projects. And the amounts that have been rumored are a lot. So what they're doing is they're gonna sell all the assets, which is one of the requirements to be able to complete this arrangement, which will include the equipment, the oil, the land, etc., etc. And whatever profit that's worth, they're gonna disperse it amongst every single shareholder by rewarding you with this Class A preferred stock dividend for every share that you have. Now, what's really cool is the rumors of how much this could be worth. There are people that say it could be worth $3 to $5. I've even heard $25 and up, which seems really dramatic, but that'd be amazing. So it's definitely a gamble if you're investing in Torchlight. Now, if you're really a believer in Metamaterials, it really doesn't matter. You're just trying to get in because you're looking way into the future of what Metamaterials can do with their products and services. But if you're looking more so in the short term and even for the short gain, then a lot of us are investing in Torchlight for that quick dividend payout, whatever it is. So overall, this has really been a very interesting merger. And like I said before, it's really a testament, or at least I believe it's really a testament to patience, because you're really waiting for this dividend to be announced, and then you're waiting for this merger to be announced, because you know when mergers are announced and they actually happen, the price is gonna go up already, so you get that short-term gain on that aspect. And then whatever the dividend is gives you more of a gain, and you can put that money towards anything. And we're all speculating how much that could be. I mean, $25 for each share would be insane, but we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below, are you guys investing into Torchlight or Metamaterials? Which one and why? Are you investing in the short term or in the long term? And if so, what makes you such a believer in Metamaterials? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit short, but I wanted to get straight to the point. And speaking of videos, make sure you guys watch some of this other content. Hopefully it helps you guys on your investing journey as it has in mine. I do appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, take care.